Now to a different story. Despite the efforts that have been put in place to eradicate female genital mutilation in Kenya, many girls still undergo the brutal cut. With a prevalence rate of as high as 15%, stakeholders are concerned about whether the country will meet its target of attaining zero tolerance to female genital mutilation by the year 2030. And as Kenya joins the world in marking the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, Safin Acheng Omar spoke to survivors of female genital mutilation about their experiences, how they are turning their pain into purpose, and what change of strategy is needed to end this form of human rights violation.
Esther Kararu was 15 years old. As every young girl her age, she had hopes of finishing her studies and pursuing a career. But she remembers a day when the vibrance of her light was dimmed.
Nikikumbuka siku hiyo nakumbuka hiyo kutokuwa na dignity. Kwa sababu asubuhi na mapema niliambiwa nitoe nguo mbele ya watu wengi. Alafu hiyo uchungu wenyewe.
Esther, who hails from Loisukut village in Makurian location of Laikipia North constituency, was subjected to female genital mutilation. She remembers how she entered the dark room and her life has never been the same.
Ndio nilifanywa hivi. Alafu kuna mama alishika huu mguu, mwingine huu hivi kabisa. So kujifunua hivi mbele ya watu katika miaka hiyo, jambo hiyo ilinifanyia a lot of emotion. Ilikuwa humiliating. Alafu uchungu mwenyewe, huyo mama alikuwa anakata. Na hiyo uchungu hata haina kipimo, huwezi elezea.
A hidden scar that would haunt her even in her adulthood.
Mpata mtoto kwa shida na ilibidi tena hapo tu kwenye nilikatwa tena nikatwe ndio mtoto apate kutoka.
It is a pain that Sadia Hussein, who underwent the cut at the age of 10, knows too well.
The painful was too much on me. But again, I couldn't make any decision at that moment because I was very innocent and I didn't know whether FGM was bad or good at that moment.
Sadia went into labor for 3 days when she was expecting her first child, all courtesy of FGM-related complications. But even though things were clearly not progressing as they should have been, the women in her small community were resistant to the idea of sending her to hospital.
I was struggling between life and death. I was unable to give birth. Unfortunately, my mother couldn't take me to hospital because she was fearing if I'm taken to hospital, they will either do episiotomy, which is the cutting with scissors, or perhaps they will take me to cesarean delivery. And that's for her was not something she wanted for me. And she felt like I should give birth at home.
After several hours of the near-death experience and excruciating pain, Sadia gave birth to a baby girl. But it was impossible for her to sit up, let alone hold her newborn.
Every mother wants to always, hold her baby, but I couldn't do that because I have wounds, fresh wounds. I cannot sit properly. My mother came and she wants to help me hold my baby.
That is the day Sadia decided no girl will relive her experience, and it had to start by protecting her own flesh and blood.
I had to hold my daughter like this, and I just couldn't control my tears. And that's when I vowed, my princess, you are my life. I know my mother was unable to protect me and any other sisters of mine, but I promise I'll protect you and all other girls.
Today, Sadia is one of Kenya's most powerful and persuasive advocates for the eradication of FGM. As the founder of the grassroots Dire Women Group and the Brighter Society Initiative, she is credited for reducing the practice of FGM in her native village in Tana River County and saving hundreds of girls from the knife.
Even when women die during giving birth, it's normal for our women because they feel this is how the society have conditioned them. They are voiceless. And that's why I chose to be that voice of those voiceless women who feel that it's normal for women to endure pain in silence.
In 2018, she was awarded Young Achievers Award by the Anti-FGM Board, and in 2019, feted as the national heroine by the state. a form of recognition that was granted to Esther Kararu, who founded Oasis of Love, a center of hope for girls running away from FGM and early marriage in her community.
Hiyo uchungu wa FGM ni sasa naitumia vizuri. Sasa ndio imenipa sauti ya kuzungumzia. Nazungumza sana, naelezea, naenda kwa community, nazungumza hapo kwenye nilikeketu hiyo kijiji.
According to the recently released Kenya Demographic and Health Survey data for 2022, the prevalence of FGM is 15% in the country, meaning that 15% of girls and women aged between 15 to 49 have been circumcised. While this may be a drop from the prevalence rate of 21%, which was recorded in 2014, and 38% in 1998, the figure is still too high, considering the fact that Kenya wants to end FGM by 2030.
We were not able to reach there.
During a recent meeting of civil society organizations involved in anti-FGM advocacy, the stakeholders committed to reinforce efforts to ensure zero tolerance to FGM and to save young girls from this form of human rights violation.
Ending FGM-C will require an integrated multisectoral approach that addresses the different intersecting vulnerabilities facing girls and women affected or at risk of FGM-C.
Our aim is to create a dynamic platform for CSOs to exchange knowledge and experiences in combating FGM, identifying gaps in ongoing efforts, and collaboratively devising innovative strategies for more effective elimination.
Survivors play a crucial role in raising awareness, providing first-hand insights, and inspiring resilience. Recognizing and amplifying the voices of survivors is integral to shaping effective policies and interventions.
The key stakeholders' engagement came as Kenya joins the world in marking the 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence, which runs from 25th November until 10th of December, with this year's theme focusing on investing to prevent violence against women and girls.
We are experiencing the gap and challenges towards eradicating FGM because a lot of resources are being spent towards eradicating FGM, but none of them reaches the grassroots organizations.
For real change to happen, community-specific efforts rather than top-down policies are essential, as well as involvement of men and boys in the fight against FGM. Safin